Hey everybody, welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. So head on over to infinityflux.net right now where you can start placing your pre-orders for all of these awesome books that are coming out in a few weeks to a month or so. That way when they are released, you don't have to worry about them selling out. You'll already have yours pre-ordered. You pick it up in store or it's mailed off to you. Either way, you are good. You're good. You're good. Toys R Us. But this is a very interesting week of stuff. A lot of indie stuff, some big ones. So let's get into it. We're going to kick it off with our Prime Comic pre-orders. And what is more Prime Comic than...
Absolute Catwoman #1 is on FOC. I'm so excited for this. This is written by Shea Grayson and Scott Snyder, and the art is by Bengal. Now, this is going to be a 6-issue miniseries to start with, but there is the potential that it could get extended if the pre-order numbers are good. And the solicitation doesn't have a lot of detailed information about the story, but what we do know is that in the Absolute universe, Selina Kyle is actually kind of sort of like what Bruce Wayne is in the main universe. She's the one with the money. She's the one with the gadgets. She's the one who goes on all these adventures. And someone from her past comes knocking at her door, and her life comes crashing down around her, and she'll need to get to the bottom of a mystery, taking her all around the globe. And we have a preview copy of this. We haven't read it yet, but I've scanned through it. It looks awesome. We were on a call with Scott Snyder and some other DC folks a couple weeks ago, and Scott Snyder literally walked through the whole issue with us, just told us all about it, and it sounds really cool.
Yeah, expect surprises and some other stuff to pop up in here that you are not expecting.
Yeah, well, I will say I think it's okay to say that we will also see the first appearance of another absolute version of a well-known DC character in this, and throughout the series we'll see a couple others as well. So they said that they had planned for these characters to show up at some point, but they wanted to save them for this book. So this is going to be a big book. This is going to be an exciting book. I really like the artwork. It's going to be full of really cool high-tech spy espionage type action. We're going to get some first appearances of Absolute characters, and it's going to be awesome. So, and we have Absolute Green Arrow coming out next week, and then this is going to follow on the heels of that in about 3 weeks. So the Absolute universe is still cooking, as the young people say. So this is the A cover. There is a David Nakayama cover. There's a Kari Andrews cover, a Sozamaika variant, a Bengal foil variant, a logo foil variant, and a blank variant as well. This one's going to be really hard to try to pick which cover.
I was just thinking that same thing. Yeah, there's a few of those that I've got my eye on.
Yep.
Well, next up we have a new one from Marvel. This is What If Thor. So they are doing a series of one-shots that are, the classic Marvel What If. They're also doing variant covers, so don't get those confused. There are actual books, and then there are variant covers. But this is one of the actual ones. This is What If Thor. This is from Tarun Grönbeck and Sergio Davila. And the full title of this is What If Thor Got Spider-Man's Symbiote Suit. So I'm sure that's happened before in something.
Yeah.
The symbiote suit's been attached to pretty much everybody at this point.
It's around.
But it says, amid the chaos, there comes a costume, which the classic tagline. But not to the hero you know. Legend has it that bonding with the symbiote suit made Thor mightier still. But what shadows lurking in the 10 realms would take interest in such a powerful pairing? Who knows? We'll have to see. Thor's got plenty of villains that could be, vying for the power of the symbiote suit. But I always like these, especially just when they're one-shots. They're just a fun idea explored a little bit. We've got more of these coming, but if you are a fan of the What If stuff...
I wish the story, instead of getting, what if Thor gets Spider-Man's symbiote suit? I wish it were just, what if Thor were the one who went to the machine in Secret Wars #8, and he got... the symbiote. It's not Spider-Man. It was never Spider-Man's suit. It was always his. What would that be like? I think that would be a little bit cooler.
Yeah, especially maybe if it didn't have the spider on it, but it had a lightning bolt or it had something on there for him. But we've got a couple of cool covers for this. So this is your A cover. We have a Paulo Sequeira cover, which it does look like it more maps to his look. And there is a Sergio Davila homage cover.
That's what I'm talking about.
That one is awesome.
Maybe that's what the story is.
It might be. They might have done that for the A cover just so visually you can tell, like, oh, that's the symbiote.
Maybe when they say, what if Thor got Spider-Man symbiote too? Maybe they're saying Spider-Man symbiote just to say the symbiote that Spider-Man originally got. So maybe that is what the story is.
Yeah, so it looks cool. I'm definitely going to be checking out all of these.
Yep. All right, we have Power Rangers Unlimited #1. This is from Joey Esposito and Kenny Porter. The art is by Alessio Zano. And the solicitation, again, doesn't really give us a lot of information about what the story's about. But we had a little bit of a preview in the Power Rangers Free Comic Book Day book. And essentially, I'm not sure why, but in this story, there's going to be a whole bunch of Power Rangers from a whole bunch of different eras that come together. It says that at a mysterious base on the planet Aquitar, a more phenomenal program is taking shape. Under the guidance of the eccentric operator and the striking Tiger Unlimited Ranger, Power Rangers from all across time and space are called upon to form elite teams and battle a rising evil. I don't know what that evil is, but if you saw the Free Comic Book Day book, you saw that double page spread and it just had Power Rangers from, I don't even know all of them, but they were all from a bunch of different shows and eras, and it wasn't even like the yellow one, it was like all different colors, but it wasn't like all the teams together. It was just like one Power Ranger from this team and one from that team. It was just like a hodgepodge of...
They did that a little bit in the Shattered Grid storyline. But it's interesting they're doing that again, and you know, sometimes they introduce completely new Rangers that we've never seen before. So these are always a lot of fun. The Power Rangers series from Boom has been great. So yeah, this is cool.
Yep. So this is our A cover. There is a is that Cully Hamner, it looks like?
Yeah, it looks like it.
There's an Every Ranger Ever connecting variant.
I wonder how many that's going to take to connect all of them.
And that's from Alessio Zano, from your interior artist right there.
That's awesome.
And then there's an FOC reveal variant by Inyuk Lee.
Yep. Well, next up we have a brand new ongoing series. I know that's always the question with some image stuff and everything. This one specifically says ongoing. Everything's ongoing until it's a mini-series, and everything's a mini-series until it's ongoing. But this is M1 Monster Racing League, #1 from Jay Lee. So Jay Lee pretty much doing most of the stuff on here. So it says, when 17-year-old Dev moves to Japan, she stumbles into an underground world of illegal street racing where speed is power and mutation wins championships. This high-octane sci-fi drama set in near-future Tokyo is fast and furious by way of K-pop demon hunters. So I'm not sure, do the cards transform into monsters? I don't know where the monster really fits into this. You know, her shirt kind of has like a yellow jacket on it. There's some dragons in the background. I'm not sure, but it sounds really cool, and with Jay Lee behind it, we've seen some preview pages of this, and it is very interesting. Like the layouts and everything are very Jay Lee. So if you're a fan of his stuff and you think this sounds pretty cool, definitely check it out. We've got our A cover here. We have a John J. Muth variant. She's got a little flying cat, and a blank sketch cover.
And next we have the Marvel Swimsuit Special Brand New Beach Day #1. This is from, among others, Cody Ziegler, excuse me, and Daniel Kibblesmith writing duties, Pascal Ferry and Valerio Schiti on art, and I think there might be a couple more as well. It just simply says that we heard your complaints that allegedly we've been too safe and had too many words.
Glad they got my letters.
Yeah. So we're making this one sexier than ever. Plus 4 fun, zany, half-naked stories from across the Marvel Universe to whet your appetite so you can still say you read it for the articles. So yeah, it's not going to be a just a pinup book like the ones in the 90s were. There's going to be a couple stories as well. And they've done this in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they've been really fun. Just like fun, one and done. A bunch of Avengers and Spider-Man and X-Men all teaming up.
Yep. So you know, here's the next one. This is the wraparound cover from J. Scott Campbell. There's an Akka variant, an Art Germ variant, an Inyuk Lee Marvel Snap variant, Mahmoud Asrar foil variant, and a Terry Dodson
cover to be revealed.
Oh, that's a weird cover for a swimsuit special.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Terry Dodson's usual art.
You should have hung a bikini from those words. You know.
Well, and next up we have a brand new one from Ignition Press, who we love. This is the Dispatched #1. This is by B. Clay Moore and Daniel Geet. A pretty long description of this, but you got to hear it out. MacGyver meets Die Hard in this
Sold.
life or death
Sold.
unboxing. Estranged from his family and living under a government-issued alias, ex-Black Ops agent Morgan Power endures a life in suburban exile as a delivery driver for a major global courier company. It's a 180 from his action-packed classified work abroad until a routine shift puts him in the crosshairs of a domestic terrorist takedown. Trapped in the parking garage of a besieged corporate office park, Power goes back to basics with nothing but his survival skills and a delivery van full of unopened packages and endless possibilities to fight his way from floor to floor and free the hostages. But some boxes hold more trash than treasure, and Powers will also have to contend with his intensifying PTSD as the situation escalates and time runs out. So this says it delivers a classic lockdown thriller with a fresh twist. I like this idea of like all these boxes and he opens them and then he has to like, oh, I've got some kitchen knives and I got a soccer ball. Well, I'm going to be kicking this at somebody. You know, I always think that's really fun. That's kind of the MacGyver aspect of it. And yeah, this just sounds like a fun, you know, it's this and this combined, but it also feels very original and fresh. So I think this sounds really, really cool. We've got a couple of covers for this. So this is your A cover. That is your interior artist. And there's also a David Lapham cover. And he's got down there like a skateboard and a selfie stick and some plushes. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's like the video game Dead Rising where you're in the wall and you had to just like use whatever as a weapon.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking this one out.
Well, we have another one from Ignition Press. This is Airwalker, the original graphic novel. So this is a little bit different from what Ignition Press usually does, because, you know, usually they do like single issues, but this is a 1999 graphic novel, and it says it's written by Stan Lee and Jeremy Hahn. So I don't know if
Smiling Stan Lee.
I guess so. I don't know if this is maybe a story that he had in his back pocket a long time ago, and maybe it's been brought to the present day.
Yeah, I know he had a lot of like creator-owned things that he did for different companies, or kind of pitches of characters.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure about that, but the art is by Danny Luckert. And it's about this young man named Bo Chang. His life is a constant battle, whether it's from fighting the mobsters that have him under his thumb as a prize fighter. It sounds like, you know, they're always wanting him to, you know, take a fall or something, or caring for his ailing mother and their family-owned bookshop in New York City's Chinatown. But as if all this weren't enough, Bo is about to find himself fighting for the future of humanity when a family friend with a mysterious connection to Bo's dead father arrives back in their lives. Bo becomes exposed to what can only be described as a god particle. The transformation that occurs not only makes him able to walk on air, but makes him a target for everyone else attempting to take control of this evolutionary discovery. So, I don't know. I mean,
feels like it should have said something about Stan Lee in there.
Yeah.
To kind of clarify, but.
Yeah, so I don't really know, like, what, if is that it right there? You can, like, walk a foot off the ground. I don't know how much that's really going to help you with things, but...
Maybe you could, like, you know, stair step your way up or
maybe,
something.
Or walk across water or something like that. But, yeah, so just another one from Ignition Press, but maybe it's got a little bit of Stan Lee behind it somehow.
And a graphic novel.
Yeah, a graphic novel, right. So this is the standard edition cover that'll be available everywhere, and there's a direct market edition which is only available in comic book stores like ours, and that gives you a much better idea about what it looks like, I guess.
Yeah, we got a little ash can version of the first couple of pages of this, and it looks really cool. It's really clean. It's got great colors. It looks a lot like this. So yeah, I think this is cool, and it's cool to see Ignition Press branching out in, you know, not just single issues but graphic novels. You know, more to see. Well, next up we've got the Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day. Issue number 2. Issue number 1 of this just came out, and it was actually really fun.
I really liked it.
Despite, you know, there's a lot of people who hesitate when they see the name Brand New Day on a Spider-Man book. But if you put that aside, just think of this as just a Spider-Man story that takes place, you know, from a few years ago. You are in for a treat. So this one continues the adventures into one of Spidey's most important periods with some of the creators who made it happen. Spider-Man paints a giant target on his back by stealing the Kingpin's lexicon, which we saw that in the first issue. Fisk's directory detailing his entire criminal enterprise, which wasn't too hard for Spider-Man to steal from the safe.
Super easy, yeah.
Yeah, it's just there and he got it. But Punisher steps in to help Spidey, but Mr. Negative and his army of unkillable inner demons put them both through their paces and do something truly horrific to our favorite hero and our favorite anti-hero. So, no big surprise. This is kind of following up on the new Spider-Man Brand New Day movie with Spider-Man and Punisher, but with Dan Slott helming this, it's really, really cool and feels like some classic Dan Slott Spider-Man, which is one of my favorite eras of Spider-Man. So if you are looking for just a solid, really fun Spider-Man book, and he said this week that this is actually an ongoing series.
Well, he said it back in the Word Balloon podcast.
Yeah.
I went back to watch that to see, get the full context of this, and he did say that, or was it? I think it was. Yeah, it was during that, I think, right? And he said that, this is going to take place in the original Brand New Day era, but then the second story arc will jump ahead to current day. And I don't know if it's still going to be called Brand New Day when it's talking about current day stuff, but if every issue is as cool as fun as the first one, then yeah, bring it on. I'll definitely read it. But I just want Punisher to use that big gun, though.
Yeah. But yeah, first issue is great. If you didn't check it out, maybe you're hesitant about it, this is one of the best Spider-Man books that's coming out right now, and we've only got the first issue. So this is your A cover. There's a Francesco Manna MJ variant, which I'm a sucker
really
for
like that
anytime
one, yeah.
MJ's on the cover. They know how to pull at our heartstrings.
Yep.
And there's a Mark Chiarello cover as well.
Next we have, is it Gehenna or Gehenna? You read the
Gehenna.
Gehenna, okay. Gehenna in Tokyo. This is from Patrick Kinlan and Marco Ferrari, and the art is by Atsuki Yamamoto. And this is following on the heels of the Gehenna miniseries that came out from Image about a year ago, I think. But this is just a standalone one-shot story. Gehenna travels to Japan to end the Yakuza contract on her life. But she finds they do business a little differently in the land of the rising sun. So I didn't read it. I read the first issue, but you read most of it, if not the whole thing.
It's really fun. Like, at the end of every issue, there's a letters page, and Patrick Kinlan just is like, this is just a comic to be fun. This is just an action-packed comic.
Yeah.
This is just, it's not trying to really say anything. This is just her and the kid that she was with jumping on rooftops and trying to get away from these crime bosses and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. It was just an action movie. I would say the entire first series probably took place over a couple of hours maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking for just really fun, action-packed stories, that's what this is. I'm sure you could just jump into this one with really no context, because that's kind of how this works.
So this is the A cover. That is your interior artist there, and hold on, we got several more. So this is the Marco Ferrari wraparound cover. There is a Samaru variant, an Autumn Bellflower variant, a Pass variant, Maurizio Rosenweig variant, and a Zawa Yuki variant. And I think there's another version of this as well that we could not show on this.
I don't know why, but okay.
She's holding a different gun.
Well, next up, we've got The Fury of Firestorm #3. So this is as far as we've read in the series. We got to read ahead. So we read 1, 2, and 3 back to back. And that was really a cool way of reading this, because this issue 3 really kind of makes you understand the first 2 issues and really builds out this story. And you kind of understand more of what the story is going to be. So it says, a search for Martin Stein. Lorraine is on the hunt for the only person who can bring Ronnie back from the brink, Martin Stein. But what did Martin do to cause such a rift between him and Ronnie to begin with? And when you find out, this is definitely gonna, if you know the Firestorm origin, this is gonna change some stuff.
Yeah.
And I think really kind of add to it and expand upon Firestorm as a character as we go forward from this. And it was just announced from Jeff Lemire that this has been extended to 9 issues.
Yeah.
So let's keep it going. Let's show them that we want more Firestorm, because this series is awesome. And if you enjoyed the first 2, get ready for issue #3, because it is even bigger, and you're really going to get the full picture here.
Yeah, there is like we said on our previous video, there is a reason why they showed us everything they showed us in the first couple issues, because everything we saw in those 2 issues pay off in this one, and it's really cool.
Yeah, you see that from a different perspective, a different angle, and it really changes how you're going to be looking at this story in a really cool way. So we've got our A cover right here. We have a Todd Knott cover. I love that one.
Yep.
We've got a Dust in the Wind cover and a Stephen Green cover.
Next up is Barbara Gordon Breakout number 2. This not a lot of specifics in this either. Just says that Barbara Gordon is alone, in prison, and outnumbered by the very criminals that she helped put away. Without her team, she's going to have to fight to survive on her own. But someone at Supermax has her in their crosshairs. She's being hunted, but she's about to learn that in prison there's nowhere to hide. So I guess she's being hunted by that scary individual on the cover. But I loved the first one so much. It came out this week, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and can't wait for this. I thought this was fantastic, or the first issue was fantastic. So this is your A cover from Carl Kerschel. There's a Dan Mora cover, which is creepy.
Yep.
There is a Matteo Scalera cover and a Geoff Spokes cover.
Yeah, all these are great. That first issue immediately bumps up there as one of my favorite of the new Next Level books. You know, that tier list is just flip-flopping constantly. But yeah, this one is right up there with all the other ones. Well, next up we have Gun Honey Doubles Down. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries set in the Gun Honey universe. And if you picked up the Free Comic Book Day book, you got a kind of a prologue to this. But this is Gun Honey Doubles Down. This is from Charles Arte, and the art is by Ong Hor King, which I believe is your main team that's been doing all of these. But any of these you can kind of jump on. They're all kind of almost like James Bond movies. So in this one, when a botched attack on the director, the dictator from Russia sends identical looking men fleeing for Siberia, Finland, and the Black Sea, Gun Honey Joanna Tan is offered $10 million to separate the real targets from his doubles and make sure the right man dies. So yeah, if you like James Bond, if you like kind of the hard case crime, a little sexy, a little action packed, you'll definitely like this. I love all of these because it's just fun. You know, there's no real sci-fi or any fantasy elements. It's just kind of crime espionage. So we've got our A cover here. We also have an Adam Hughes cover. The first one was an art germ. This is Adam Hughes. We have a Ong Hor King cover. So that's your interior artist. There is a Yasmin variant. There is a art germ full art variant. There's an Adam Hughes full art variant. There is a Artgerm Inks full art variant and a Artgerm Copic variant as well.
All right, so next up we have Altered States Warlords number 1. This is from David Avallone and the artist by Mariano Benitez Chapo. And this is described as Dynamite Entertainment's parallel reality in the vein of DC's Elseworlds and Marvel's What If. So in this story, Red Sonja finds herself transported to Barsoom, which we know is Mars, in the ancient past of the mysterious Red Planet. But what happens there sets up events that will ripple across the planet and will draw in the legendary heroes Vampirella, John Carter, Dejah Thoris, and Tarzan as well. So yeah, basically this is an Elseworlds or What If Dynamite book with all the different Dynamite characters, and that should be cool.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's not just like, what if Red Sonja instead of John Carter?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, this one thing, it creates a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bigger series than just a singular story.
So this is the Joseph Michael Linsner A cover. There is a Mike Ruth cover, Mariano Benitez Chapo cover. So that's your interior artist right there. There's a cosplay cover and a premium mystery bag, premium. It's a blind bag. But I don't know. This is going to be $19.99. Usually the way Dynamite's been doing it lately
is 3 variants in it.
Oh yeah, the 3 variants. But the solicitation didn't really go into much detail about what was in there. So, but yeah, just you know, you can get 3 different covers of this issue in one bag.
I think the variants in these are also like exclusive to this.
Okay.
They're either like a foil version of something or that kind of thing. But
and the blind bag is $19.99, but again, you get 3 different books in it.
Well, next up we have Supernatural Special Castiel one-shot. So this is a one-shot, kind of our first one-shot that go with the Supernatural series. This is from Preeti Chibber and Pasquale Colano. And in this, Castiel makes his comics debut. He has always been sure of his faith, his duty, and his position. So why is he suddenly having doubts? The only thing he knows is that it has something to do with those Winchester boys. He's followed them to Gainesville, Florida, on a chaotic weekend when music and sports fans have descended on the city, and wherever he goes, the Winchesters are one step ahead of him. Hunting for monsters have been reported in the vicinity. Whether it's a concert, a frat party, or whatever, by the time Castiel follows the trail there, the Winchesters have come and gone until they find the thing they're all looking for together. But will Castiel help the brothers on their mission or just get in the way? So I know there's a lot of fans of Supernatural and the supporting characters, all of that, so you don't want to miss out on this one. Especially if you're subscribed to the main series, go ahead and order this one. Being a one-shot, it's not part of that main series. So we've got our A cover here by Quilano, that's your interior artist. There is a photo variant, and there is another photo variant.
Next, we have Excommunicated number 2. The A covers for number 1 came out this week, and everything else came out the week before, but it was really cool. And in this one, Josephine joins forces with the demon Edimu to avoid a horrific attack. Is that she joins forces with the demon? Is that the demon that she exorcised?
Yeah.
Okay. So she joins forces with that demon to avoid an attack, but when she comes to, she has no memory of how she got to the train station. But when she realizes that the demon is manipulating her and that she has no choice but to accept his help, she confronts Father Santos and returns to the site of the failed exorcism where Vatican forces are waiting for them. So if you read the first one, that does make sense. But, Father Santos was the one who she thought called her, but then apparently didn't call her. And the fact that she was at that exorcism caused her to get excommunicated from the church. And now she's going back, and there's going to be a lot of priests with guns, I can only imagine. I don't know.
The first one was awesome. The art was great.
Oh, yeah, the art was really good.
This is a interesting buddy cop story.
Yeah. So this is the A cover by Flaviano, and there is a Trevor Henderson Extreme Unholy Black Bag.
Yeah, I got this one for the first issue.
Yeah.
It's not that extreme.
Okay, yeah.
Remember I showed you? It's it's not like some of the other black bags. Maybe they'll get worse, but this is a really fun series. Next up, we have more Essential Comics, and this is supposedly a big one. Mm-hmm. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 31, still by Joe Kelly, but the art in this is by Patrick Gleason, who is phenomenal whenever he is on Amazing Spider-Man. And this issue, The Talk. Peter Parker's world will never be the same. Don't miss one of the most pivotal issues in Spider-Man history.
I really hope they're not doing what I think they might be doing.
Someone might be actually Peter's mother?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't know. But we'll have to find out when we read it.
Now, this is not Legacy number 1000. That doesn't come till like July, I think. Yeah. I think number 35 or 36 is Legacy 1000. So we're not there yet, but yeah, this is, like you said, going to be a pivotal issue, and they've been playing around with over the last few issues, over all the Death Spiral stuff with family and, who's related to whom, and I don't know where they're going with it, but...
I don't know where they're going, but maybe we'll find out here. This is your A cover. There's an Alex Ross Marvel Dimensions variant. There's a Francesco Manna New Vulture variant.
Yeah, we're going to see him.
Not final art, but...
we're going to see him real soon after this.
Yeah, I love Vulture. This one looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. There's a Libra Mayho Amazing Visions variant with Miles and Gwen. It's very cool. Cool Spider-Verse thing. We also have a Luciano Vecchio Pride variant. This one's interesting. This is the Marcus Toe issue 1000 Foreshadow variant. So where's Aunt May getting whisked off to, or Peter's getting pulled somewhere?
Where's Peter getting pulled to, and she's holding him back? So I was about to say, maybe it has nothing to do with familial stuff. Maybe the talk is Peter finally telling Aunt May that he's Spider-Man, or maybe it's her saying, hey, I know you're Spider-Man, I'm not an idiot. She already did that 30 years ago in number 400, which was a beautiful story. But on that cover, he doesn't have his mask on, and she's right there. So maybe that's what the talk is about. Okay. Maybe it has nothing to do with, I'm actually your mother.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah, I don't know, but...
Yeah, so this one's going to be interesting to try to figure out what this is actually doing. And then there's also this really nice Paulo Sequeira cover with more a classic Vulture.
All right, this is Destination Kill number 2. Now, the number 1 came out this week, and it was pretty interesting. There's not really any new information about this issue specifically in the solicitation. It just talks about the overall story about, this company Overcon who built this underground railway from London to New York, and they hired robots to do it, and construction workers protested that, but then it escalated to basically domestic terrorism. And this cop, Gina Serene, is the only one who can stop the next, even more destructive attack. And it says that Nelson Van Meter, who is the creator of the Loop, which is that underground railway, before Overcon or the builders can get to him first. She has to locate the one person who can stop the attack, which is that guy, before the builders can get to him first. That's what it is. So, if you like the first issue, don't miss the second one. This is our A cover. There's an Adam Gorham cover and an Ito variant. That's like the head builder guy.
Well, next up, we've got Dork issue number 5. And it's crazy that we're already at issue number 5, but it's coming on a very consistent basis. And this one sounds really fun. So why is Dork wet and naked? Why are the town guards chasing him? And where is the lava dragon that was chained under the mountain? Dork makes a fortune teller prove she's good at her job by explaining it all. This starts a whole set of problems that nobody saw coming, except the fortune teller. Yeah, because she's that good. So just more hijinks and crazy stuff from Dork. We've got our A cover here, and check it out. We've got a Daniel Warren Johnson variant with that lava dragon.
Oh, it's just those two. Okay.
Yep.
1 second here. All right. So this is the Hab number 3. Number 2 has not come out yet. I don't know when it does come out. Maybe it's next week. I'm not sure. But in number 3, and we saw this basically at the end of the first issue, that a deadly biological agent is making its way through the underground facility. It's in the water, it's in the plumbing, and now it is in the ventilation system and has gone airborne. And people are getting infected with this biological agent. It's causing them to have gut-wrenching hallucinations, driving them to violence and murder and even self-murder. Dr. Faroki has administered antipsychotics to the few survivors, but its effects are temporary, and the remaining crew's only chance at survival is to stop the spread and find a cure. And there's a team that has to try to, in the first issue we saw, they were trying to get through the blast doors that are down underneath, because there's a spring down underneath the ground where the facility gets their water, and that's believed to be what, there's something weird in that cave where that spring is, and that's what's causing all this. So this team has to get through the blast doors to that spring to sample the contaminated water and hope their high-tech containment suits hold out long enough to burn the rest. But deep within the spore-choked dark, amongst swarms of infected bats and the corpses of their former construction crew entombed within the concrete walls, the team will find that nothing in the Hab stays buried for long. So this started very sci-fi and went supernatural horror really fast. So this is the A cover from Charlie Adler. There is a Sarah Sumere cover, and there is a David Lapham blueprint variant. It's a blueprint of the underground bunker.
Hidden info only available on this cover.
Whoa.
Well, next up, we've got Street Fighter Masters Ken, which is funny because Ken's name is Ken Masters. So, it's kind of switched around. I'm very excited. The Street Fighter movie coming out this year. It looks awesome. So, give me more Street Fighter. This one is a one-shot from Aaron Sparrow and Roy Sutherland. Ken Masters is a man on a mission, one of redemption. Now, Ken has tracked down the man who destroyed his life, the Shadowloo agent known as JP, but JP is on a mission of his own to harness an ancient and dark power, all set against the backdrop of Central America. So if you want to get some backstory on some Street Fighters, definitely check this one out with Ken.
He also fights Black Manta in this issue, apparently.
Oh, really?
The cover looks like Black
Manta in a mech suit.
Yes.
Black Mecha. Yeah. So we've got our A cover here for this. There's a Matthew Weldon cover and a Jeffrey Cruz cover.
Next we have Megalith, the Olympus Saga number 2. Or is it the Olympus Saga Megalith? Olympus Saga Megalith number 2, sorry. Codename Olympus is on the move, and the deep space mecha robot, which at the beginning of the first issue, we thought it was just this big tower, but it turned into a big robot that you see on the cover.
I assume all big towers are robots,
right.
just to be on the safe side.
This building transforms.
Yep.
Yeah. But that big mecha robot is marching towards Washington, D.C., leaving death and destruction in its wake. Nuclear-armed fighter jets stand by, awaiting instructions to take it out. Locked inside the towering megalith, Baltimore beat cop Jack Casey, we met him in the first issue, and the other survivors of an elite government breach team are all that stand between the city and nuclear annihilation, facing down savage, otherworldly predators and a brutal barrage of deadly tests. The team must scale miles of harsh terrain in a hostile alien world to reach the head and destroy Olympus from the inside. So basically, to them, it looks like they're navigating this alien world, but they're really inside a big giant robot climbing up inside him, which sounds weird. I wonder if he's like belly gets itchy and stuff. With minutes before launch and countless lives on the line, the clock is ticking because Olympus is only the beginning, and a second, far larger monolith is hurtling towards Earth. That's a lot, and a book with a monster this big deserves a really big solicitation. So this is the A cover, and there's a Arturo Lozzi variant as well.
Ooh, is that like how they're piloted or something?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, next up we have Tigress Island number 4. This is a 5-issue miniseries, so it's the penultimate issue of that. The girls are on the loose on the island, which we saw at the end of the previous issue, but it looks like there's some weird stuff on this island. But there's an army on their tail. They faced dangers up until now, but there's nothing that can prepare them for the stakes because they are about to go up in tragic and irreversible ways. So, yeah, getting even more intense as they've made it out of the compound, but now face the fury of the jungle. So this is your A cover. There is a Bangabez cover as well.
This is Transformers number 33. In this one, Optimus's new Autobot team is revealed. A new team of Autobots remains on Earth under Optimus's leadership, but can they come together after the battle between Optimus and Alita? So, what's that battle going to look like?
It's interesting. The last issue, the one that just came out, was like the Alita Prime's team revealed. Now it's like, what's Optimus's Prime? That's team that's left over here.
And that's all it says, but I'm sure it's going to be great. This is our A cover. There's a Daniel Warren Johnson cover. There's a Jason Howard and Annalisa Leone cover. And there's a Tom Riley and Adriano Lucas Energon Universe 3rd Anniversary variant. Which that looks like that could be a connecting variant. That's all the bad guys.
Yeah, that's cool. And Baroness is on there? I thought she was a good guy.
What?
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, Scarlet was on there. She's not a bad guy.
Maybe it's not all bad guys.
Yeah. Maybe that's the good guys start on the right-hand side.
I would say because Storm Shadow is pretty good.
He's in the middle there, yeah.
Anywho, next up, we've got a new Hellboy one-shot. This is Hellboy in the BPRD, The Monster of Nivola. And this is going to be really cool. So this is by, of course, Mike Mignola and Christopher Golden. The art is by Danielle Serra, who did this cover. So this is going to be a really cool painterly, watercolory issue. Rumors of a monster bring Hellboy to a nearly abandoned town in Sardinia, where the search for the creature leads to a local abbey with a shocking secret of its own. So it says this is a great jumping on point if you've never read any Hellboy in the BPRD. A lot of these are great jumping on points because they're just Hellboy going on a little mission, doing something a little fun. But yeah, this one looks great. I love all Hellboy stuff. So we've got our A cover here. And there is a Nicholas Namiri variant as well.
Next is Youngblood number 100. And I wonder how they got there. I don't know. Has there really been 100 issues of Youngblood?
I don't know if they're also counting like Strike Force and all of
probably everything with the Youngblood name on it. Still 100 issues, I'm not sure. But Youngblood arrives at an incredible benchmark. The team is united as it prepares to wage a final attack on its most formidable foe. Strange alliances are forged, and the world's greatest comic book artists have assembled to provide amazing covers celebrating the 100th issue of the comic that started Image Comics. So there it is. This is the A cover from Rob Liefeld. That one also looks to be from Liefeld.
Yep.
Sorry.
Some of the nation's greatest artists.
That's also a Liefeld cover. There is a Will Sportatio variant, an Erica Larson cover, a Mark Silvestri cover. That one's really cool. There's a Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane retro variant. Jim Valentino variant, Rob Liefeld and Robert Kirkman variant, which
We actually talked about this on one of the retailer calls we were just on with Robert Kirkman, where they're like, "Oh no, Kirkman, you might need to start drawing more covers." He's like, "No."
the only thing is his head looks really big. That's all.
Hey,
But still better than anything I can do. There's a Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane variant, which was it's very similar to the other one. And there is a Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane. Well, it's the same cover O, Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane image variant.
But this one has Savage Dragon and Witchblade and
Well,
Spawn.
the character's different in those little circles. I just
Yeah.
saw chat. Oh, that's cool.
So
okay.
that's like Youngblood, and then that one is.
Oh yeah.
I like
that one because it has Savage Dragon and Spawn and Shadowhawk. Like that's OG image.
Just whenever someone else draws Savage Dragon, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Not anything against Eric Larson, but it's cool to see it interpreted somewhere else. Okay, well, next up we have Emperor Aquaman issue 18. This is one I've been looking forward to since it got solicited. So, guest starring Hal Jordan, Aquaman finds himself trapped in a mysterious prison, only to find out he's not the only one there. Hal Jordan joins him in a jailbreak among the stars. And it says, and this sets up stuff heading towards a major sea change in the DC universe. I think that's kind of like a play on seat change.
Yeah.
But what's going to be going on, we'll have to see. But just having Hal Jordan and Aquaman teamed up is just super cool. I feel like they would probably get along for the most part. But yeah, this is going to be great. So we've got our A cover here by John Timms, who's your interior artist. We have a Stephanie Hans cover. We have a Nathan Zerdy cover. And a Bruca Jones DC Pride variant. And next up, we got some continuing stories.
Continuing with Justice League Dream Girls, a DC Pride event number 2. I don't know when the first one comes out. This is a weekly series, so we'll probably be talking about the next couple of these over the next couple of weeks. But the key was once a villain who could infect the dreams of even the most powerful heroes through complex chemical cocktails. But now in Dreamer, he sees a way to control the dreamscape for real if he can craft a fantasy compelling enough to make her surrender to him. But if only Dreamer's best friend Galaxy didn't keep interfering, how did she even get into the dream world anyway? When you push the right buttons, even the strongest friendships can be shattered. And it also features a Green Lantern Corps backup story from Morgan Hampton, Stephen Underwood, and Aletha Martinez. So yeah, we haven't gotten the first issue of this yet. This is piggybacking off of the Justice League Intergalactic Special one-shot that came out a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this is the second issue, and again, it's going to be a weekly series. It's going to be 4 issues. This is our A cover. There's a Phil Jimenez connecting cover, and there is a Mateus Manhanini cover.
Well, next up, we've got X-Men United number 4. It feels like a while since the previous issue of X-Men United came out.
Number 3 comes out next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. And not a whole lot of information about this one. It just says in gray matter, they have all this psychic shielding and everything. But what happens when people on the inside, their doubts and their fears that emerge between friends and lovers start to run amok? So, the call's coming from inside the gray matter X-Man.
Inside the brain.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. This has been a very interesting series so far. But yeah, continuing. I guess we'll know better next week with issue number 3. But now moving on to issue number 4. This is your A cover. There is a Capuccio Marvel Soccer variant. Phoenix would be a great one to have on your team.
Yeah.
There is a Alex Ross Marvel Dimensions variant. There's a Chris Anka variant. There is a Luciano Vecchio Pride variant with Kitty Pryde. That makes sense. It's the Pride variants, and they're all just Kitty Pryde. And there's a Tiago Palma Gray Matter Lane cover as well. And Tiago Palma is your artist on Excommunicated.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their work. This is Punisher number 5. If you're riding high off of the Punisher One Last Kill special presentation that came on earlier this week, definitely don't miss this. Wounded and reeling as his own body begins to turn against him, Frank Castle has no choice but to confront the ghosts of his past and the grisly reality of his future, all wrapped up in one, as Jigsaw's machinations and mind games come to a senses-shattering head. So, the ending of issue number 3 was very shocking. Number 4 comes out next week, so I can't wait to see the aftermath of that. And it sounds like this is going to be maybe the end of this first story arc, if I had to guess. And I really liked it. This is the A cover. There is a Magic the Gathering variant and a Derek Chu variant.
Next up, we have Lady Mechanika, the Mechanical Menagerie, number 2 of 4. I don't remember if the first one of this has come out
It
yet.
did.
It
yeah.
did?
It
Okay.
came out last week, I think, maybe.
Okay. Well, continuing on, as Mr. Lewis, Fred, and Allie cross paths with strange mechanical creatures at the abandoned World of Whimsy's amusement park, Lady Mechanika and Inspector Sin are drawn into a missing persons case with ties to a past investigation best left buried. So if you're a fan of the Lady Mechanika stuff, this is some of the most stuff we've got in a long time. So this is your A cover by Joe Benitez. And we also have a B cover by Joe Benitez.
This is Showdown number 2. Number 1 came out this week, I think. And it was really cool. So this doesn't get too specific about this specific issue, but it does say that Trish has now issued her warning to Harvey, get his affairs in order because she will not stop until one of them is dead because she blames him for the death of her brother. But Harvey isn't sure there's a whole lot worth putting in order, much less fighting for. He was a one-time football hero, but now he's just a washout that no one has time for, and his father died just recently. Maybe Trish would be doing everyone a favor by taking him out, but will he give her the satisfaction of doing that? The tension is rising, and there are a lot of fights to be had before the big showdown. So the first one was cool. I can't wait for this. This is the A cover. There is a Tad Galusha cover, and that's it.
Well, next up, we have Hidden Springs number 2. Number 1 of this came out this week. Continuing on here, where the ex-celebrities who have been in this nursing home have to ask themselves, what are they willing to sacrifice to save an alien creature? So, yeah, I like this cover where he's kind of hiding from this U.S. sub.
Yeah.
He's got such a cute face. But if you read the first one and you enjoyed it, you can check out this one, and there's only one cover for it. And next up, we've got a cover gallery with plenty of other covers to show you. Starting
with Action Comics number 1099. We're almost to 1100. This is the Danielle De Nicuolo variant, and then we have a Leslie Lee Supergirl movie variant.
Well, next up, we have Bleeding Hearts, issue number 5. This is the Chloe Brailsford variant, which is very fun. And there is also Ghost Pepper, number 12. This is the Hitchum Habchi variant as well.
This is going to be the end of the first big story arc, and I think they might be taking a few months off. I'm not 100% sure, but it is going to continue past this.
Yeah.
This is Green Lantern Corps number 17, the Jorge Fornes variant, and then we have a Ryan Gonzalez variant.
With Belize. We also got some cool covers for Supergirl. This is the Terry Dodson. This is for issue 14, the Terry Dodson cover. We also have a Bruno Redondo cover, a Chrissy Zulo, and a Jim Lee Supergirl movie variant.
Very different style.
Yeah, it's almost like his Hush style when he did the flashbacks. It was very watercolor. That's super cool.
This is Thundercat Silverhawks number 3, the Lucio Perillo variant, and there is a Chuma Hill variant.
And then we have Magic and Colossus number 5. This is the Benjamin Sue variant. We also have a Uncanny X-Men number 30, the Tommaso variant for that one. And next up, we got a bookshelf with some big old books to talk about.
Oh, yeah. This one's cool. This is DC Finest Hard Traveling Heroes. Now, this is going to be $39.99, and this collects... I don't know if it's everything. I don't think it's everything in this Hard Traveling Hero story because I have the omnibus and it's really thick.
Probably
maybe
like
the first
two
part
of
of it,
these or something. Yeah.
But this is back from the 70s where Neil Adams came on board to do art, and Green Arrow and Green Lantern literally traveled across the country. It's a groundbreaking reinvention of the series that paired Hal Jordan with Oliver Queen. Yeah. So this has everything between July 1968 and March 1971 from Green Lantern 62 to 82, Flash 191, and World's Finest number 201. Super classic. Some of the best art you'll see. This is awesome.
Well, next up, speaking of one of my favorite things ever, this is Aquaman by Geoff Johns, book 1. So this is technically the new 52 Aquaman, but it was very kind of standalone at the time. Issue number 1 of this, I think, is maybe my favorite single issue of anything ever.
Yeah.
It's so good. It is the most like take this, people who make fun of Aquaman, because it addresses everything about him talking to fish, about what does he do when he's on land. It addresses all of that in the coolest way. Plus, you got art by Ivan Rice with Joe Prado. This is phenomenal, and this collects issues 0 through 13. So you get the first like 2 story arcs here. I think that covers most of the stuff with the deep, which are those piranha creatures you see behind him. This is phenomenal. People say a lot about the New 52, but the Aquaman series was incredible in this. If you've never checked this out, or you've never really read an Aquaman book, I can't think of a better jumping on point to check out Aquaman than this. So you can get this, like I said, with issues 0 through 13 for $29.99.
So this is Green Lantern Kyle Rayner Volume 1, the 2026 edition. This is the $34.99, and it collects in chronological order Green Lantern number 48 through 57. This is from back in the 90s when Kyle Rayner first became Green Lantern, right after Hal Jordan became Parallax. Green Lantern 48 through 57, New Titans 116 and 117, and Rebels number 1. But a couple of years ago, there was a Green Lantern Kyle Rayner Rising Compendium that came out. If you have that book, you don't need this because that book has a lot more in it than what this does. This is maybe like half of that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that and you're a Green Lantern fan or you're a Kyle Rayner fan, then definitely snatch this up because this is like this is still some great stuff. It still holds up really well.
Ron
Mars and Daryl Banks, I think, do the art. It's 30 years old, but it's still so good. And the infamous fridge and all that stuff. The Kyle Rayner's first days as Green Lantern is all in here. But yeah, $34.99 is the price on this.
And next up, we have the collected edition of The Last Days of H.P. Lovecraft from Romuald Giulivo. And I was reading this as single issues as it was coming out, but I was going to wait for this to get the entire thing. This is super fascinating. The interior art looks like this by Jacob Rebelka. It is chronicling the last hours of H.P. Lovecraft's life, but as he is in this bed dying, he's visited by some of his creations and kind of his past sins and all this kind of stuff in a very trippy, surreal, dreamlike story, but incredible art, just very artistic. I believe it was translated from Italian to English, and this is the English version of that. So if you like some more kind of out there stuff, if you're a Lovecraft fan, definitely check this out because it's really, really cool. And you can get it's issues 1 through 5 for $19.99. And we also got some new printings to talk about,
including Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes number 23, the facsimile edition. This is the Adam Hughes cover, which you were saying the original one of these is
it's like one of the hardest to get, most expensive Adam Hughes covers.
I get it though, because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's been homaged in a lot of things. But yeah, it's cool. They're, if you just want the cover, you can get this.
So this is the facsimile edition of that issue. This is the Adam Hughes cover, but there's a Jason Geyer and Alex Saviuk cover. Oh, that's the I got to get this because I'm trying to collect all these.
I love it because it's streaky.
Yeah,
also.
streaky. Yep.
And I love seeing on the back all the ones that there's like Parallax, Green Lantern, and Black Canary, and first appearance Batman.
I like that 1941 Batmobile.
Yeah, all that's so cool.
There is an Adam Hughes. Oh, there's a foil variant of this, that's going to be cool. And a blank cover where you can draw your own Adam Hughes cover.
Yeah, if you think you're so good,
do it yourself.
Do it yourself. We also have some more printings of Invincible Universe Battle Beast. This is number 8, the second printing. I'm definitely getting this one. I love Conquest. He's one of my favorite characters. And yeah, this is so cool.
We're going to see him next week in Battle Beast number 9.
Yes, the Battle Beast number 9 comes out next week, so don't miss on that. So this is that one. And then there's also Invincible Universe Capes number 5, the second printing of that with Kid Thor. And as we are getting ever closer to the issue where we're going to get a bunch of new stuff. Yeah, number 7, where we get the backstory by Robert Kirkman and Corey Walker of Elemental and the new story starting. So
we have the preview copy of that. Did you read it?
I did not. I skimmed through it, but I've not read it yet. But it's so cool to get new Kirkman and Cory Walker Invincible story.
Yeah.
Like it fits like you're just reading the first volume of Invincible again. So very cool. And if you haven't been reading Capes, definitely check it out. This is the Invincible book right now on Earth as Battle Beast is in space. Get your Invincible Universe stuff right here.
And we also have the second printing of Red Roots #1. And if you missed it the first time, definitely check this out because it's weird, but in a good way. Just two seemingly completely separate stories that seem to have no connection whatsoever. And that's for me is the biggest mystery is how in the heck do these things connect, or do they? I don't know.
And at the very end, it kind of throws a third element in there that makes you question everything. But yeah, we haven't got the second issue of this yet, and I'm eagerly anticipating that. And that is it for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Head on over to infinityflux.net right now. You can start placing your pre-orders for all of these books. You can pre-order as many as you want.
You can pre-order all of them.
You can do all of them.
Yeah.
I challenge you.
Yeah, do it.
Double dog dare you.
Don't be scared.
You look scared. I bet you're scared. But you can go ahead and pre-order these that way. You don't have to worry about them selling out. You don't have to worry about any of that. When they come out, you will have yours set aside for you, whether you pick them up in store or they're mailed off to you. Either way, this is how you guarantee you get the books you want, and that is so important. Like we've been saying, this is your pre-orders are a way that you kind of vote on what you want to see more of. This is the numbers that the actual publishers see. You know, we can sell a bunch of them from the store, but they don't see those numbers. They see the pre-order numbers. So this is when you kind of let them know what you're most excited about. So place your pre-orders. Don't miss out. Your pre-orders are due Sunday by 6 o'clock. That's when the cutoff time is for all of those. Make sure to check out all of our other videos. We've got our new one coming out on Monday, where we'll be going over some of the biggest books coming out next week. And we've already got a stack of them here.
Battle Beast.
A second copy of Battle Beast. G.I. Joe.
I'm trying to get to...
Lobo #3. Deathstroke #3 and Batwoman #3.
Absolute Green Arrow. Oh my gosh.
Absolute Green Arrow, Absolute Flash. I mean, it's going to be a big, big week, so you don't want to miss out on that. So make sure to like and subscribe, ring the bell, do all that kind of stuff so you don't miss any of our videos. And if you got any questions, just as a little thingy, we've got info@infinityflux.net. We can answer whatever question you have about comics or ordering comics or anything like that. Super easy. We'll walk you through it. But all that being said, and until next time, see ya. I was trying to not do it in unison.